Good evening, everybody. Joe Martin the Metalhead here. Hope you're going well. Today it is day 7 of Vlogust, and today I'm going to talk about the long bus rides I've taken in my life. Now, taking a bus is one mode of transport to get from point A to point B and also on to point C. I have taken many buses in literally like all continents of the world, bar Antarctica. I've never been there, and literally I always enjoy bus trips because in Britain it's so much cheaper taking the bus than the train, and in Europe, yes, it is sometimes cheaper to take the bus than the train as well. But I never really took much of a bus trip within Australia. I went from Sydney to Canberra many times, and that was always by bus, apart from one time I once flew to Canberra. I once took a bus from London all the way to Prague, and it took 22 hours. I left on Friday morning, and I got to Prague on Saturday morning, so the next day. So I was just like traveling through France, Belgium, Germany, to get to Czechia. So that was like my longest bus ride. In Europe, I did take a longer bus that took, probably, I think it was like 15, 17 hours. That was Moscow to Talllin, Estonia. That was quite an interesting bus trip because Lux Express is a really good bus company in the Baltics. They have free tea and coffee machines on board. Twice I've taken a bus from Aberdeen, where my cousin lives, all the way back to London, and that is 13 hours. That is like the second longest bus trip you can take non-stop. I mean, I believe, you could get on a bus from London all the way to Inverness, and that's much further than Aberdeen. But if I go up to see my cousin in Aberdeen, I always basically just take an overnight bus from London to Edinburgh or Glasgow, and then I take the train to where my cousin lives, which only takes like 2 hours from Edinburgh. The longest bus journey I've ever taken was 23 hours from Cape Town, South Africa to Windhoek, Nambia. It was quite an interesting bus journey to go from Cape to Windhoek because it left a couple of times a week, but that literally shortened my time in Cape Town. Like, I could have stayed in Cape Town for 3 days. I was like, nah, I don't really want to push it. So I pushed on to Windhoek. Nambia was my 93rd country. And it's quite an interesting border crossing between Namibia and South Africa because it's like on a river. It's like you drive over a bridge between South Africa to Namibia. Like a lot of other bridges that go into South Africa's neighbouring countries, like in Maseru or Bait Bridge, in on the Zimbabwe South Africa border. Yeah, so 23 hours on into Cape, but I just say they were really comfortable, and the exciting thing about this bus trip is that I actually crossed the Tropic of Capricorn for the first time in my life by land. It's something I never ever did in my Australian life. I did cross the Tropic of Capricorn going back from Bulawayo to Johannesburg, but that wasn't really much of an exciting trip because it was done in the dark. Yeah, so if I really wanted to take a really long bus trip, like longer than 24 hours, I'd probably go maybe Dakar all the way to Bamako in Mali. But then again, I spent like a whole day going from Banjul to Dakar on a bus, and that was like painstakingly long, and it would be much cheaper and quicker if I'd taken cars. But then again, there's ferries and border crossings and customs and all that crap. I did take a bus in South Africa that took 18 hours from Johannesburg to Cape Town. It probably could have taken much faster if I take the train, but unfortunately trains aren't really running properly in South Africa because these idiots are stealing copper on the train tracks. And so they're all been out of action since the pandemic, and it's a load of bollocks how which the South African government can't even fix them up, because there are so many good train trips you can take in South Africa from Johannesburg all the way to Cape Town. Or, to, well, Bloemfontein, or the Eastern Cape, or, yeah, just, well, but, I still haven't taken a train trip in Africa as of yet. I mean, if I want to take a train trip in Africa, I could go to Morocco, Anyway, this is Martin Millhead, over and out.